Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Ermitaggio. Before I begin, if you can just let me know you hear me well, you can use the green check mark to indicate, yes, you hear my audio. Great. Well, thank you for that. So this morning's session is called the Part 1 of the American Community Survey and Your Community by the Numbers. I'm a data dissemination specialist with the Census Bureau. I'm one of the data dissemination specialists across the country available to conduct trainings, presentations, respond to data inquiries from data users and other stakeholders. Later on in the presentation, we're going to have information on how to contact my data dissemination and training branch so that we can do webinars for your organization and even do in-person visits because we have folks across the country that do this type of work. So just a few reminders, I silenced everyone's line on entry, so everybody's phone is muted. I will be monitoring chat for any questions that you may have throughout this morning's session. This session is just part 1, should take about a half hour or so. And again, at the end of this presentation, I'll have the slide deck available for you can download instantly through the WebEx program as a PDF file. And then we'll do that also an evaluation of this morning's session. So you can see I had up on the screen while you were waiting an infographic that tells you about educational attainment of women by race. So I displayed this so that you can see something on your screen other than my name while you're waiting. Also, I point this out because it comes from the American Community Survey data. So that's how we get these statistics that you see up there on your screen. So this is part 1. We're going to cover the American Community Survey basics, resources for learning more about the ACS, and how census data can help you. And then for part 2, which is, I have a session actually Thursday and another one next month, then we'll get into accessing ACS and other data products by doing a live demonstration of how to retrieve statistics for your local community. So some of you may have registered for that as well. I have a very big waiting list for Thursday's session. So what's going to happen is if you're still on the waiting list tomorrow, I'm probably going to send out a message where I'm going to create another session to accommodate the demand. And also if you go to, I'm going to share the link later, I'll put it in chat right now, but if you go to census.gov/academy, you'll be able to see the session that I have in June. There may be a few openings for that as well. But again, if you're on the wait list, I'm going to set up special sessions to accommodate those that waited and are still interested. So what do we do at the Census Bureau? I always have this slide because we always have new folks that join us that may not be fully aware of what the Census Bureau does. So of course, everyone knows that we do the 10-year census. It's called the decennial census. We do that every 10 years on years ending 0. So we have the big one coming up in 2020. So we're ramping up for that. We're hiring lots of folks throughout the country so that we're able to count everyone. We also do the ACS, which is what this webinar is about, so I'm not going to get into that now. Other surveys and programs we do over 130 programs. But some notable ones, the Current Population Survey is a survey sponsored by the Department of Labor. And that's basically when you get the unemployment rate every month, it actually comes from this household survey that we collect on an ongoing basis. We have folks out there collecting data. Also, we have the economic census. That's done every 5 years, in years ending 2 and 7. So the 2017 economic census data should be starting to come out pretty soon on all that. So yeah, we have a lot of business and economic data also that you can actually get. The beauty of the economic census is you could get that on a very local level also. Sometimes down to zip code, even though some data is restricted because it's so local. So if you're interested in that, you'll see some of the slides have a link on the bottom in case when you get a copy of this deck and you want to go directly to the page, you can do so by following those links. So what is the American Community Survey? It is one of the leading edge of survey design, continuous improvement, and data quality. It is the nation's most current, reliable, and accessible data source for local statistics on critical planning topics such as age, children, veterans, community, education, income, and employment. I'm going to have a slide later on that shows you all the topics. The survey samples approximately 3.5 million addresses each year, so it's a pretty large household survey that we do. And being it's so large, we have a large sample, we're able to get statistics down to a local geography. So these data are collected continuously throughout the year to produce all these statistics that's there for the population. It's there for government officials, local government, community planners, and so forth. So the ACS, it's one of the only source of local statistics for most of the 35 plus topics it covers. And it's available for all geographies, regardless of population size, down to block group level. So I'm going to get a little bit more into geography and what we mean by block group level, so don't think I'm not going to go into that in a little bit. So just some differences, right? The first census of the United States was conducted in 1790 and occurred every 10 years, with one form being sent to all households until 1930. From 1940 to 2000, the decennial census contained a short form that was sent to all households and a long form that was sent to a sample of households, right? So that long form basically had the characteristics of the population. It asked about income, poverty, veteran status. So the ACS basically took that long form away that we used to do every 10 years. So in 2000, a large-scale demonstration of the ACS was conducted, and it was fully implemented in 2005. So now beginning in 2010, which was the last decennial, all households only got the short form, because we're getting all that long form data continuously every year from the ACS. So here's some differences between the ACS and the decennial census. The ACS was developed to focus the census on improving the population count. It provides characteristics data more than every 10 years to frame policy issues. When thinking about the ACS in comparison to the 2010 census, it's important to keep in mind that the census produces official counts, right? Every 10 years, and the census day is in April of those years. It produces population totals, whereas the ACS produces characteristics. It's produced every 10 years, the census, and the ACS, again, is updated information every year. And also, we're going to learn a little bit about these two types of estimates the ACS produces. The one-year estimates, it's based on 12 months of data, and 5-year estimates based on 60 months of data. And this is tied to the geography, right? So in a nutshell, if you're looking for data for a very small area, let's say a zip code or a neighborhood, you're going to be using the 5-year estimates, because you need 5 years worth of data to get reliable statistics for the small area, right? Because of the sample size. For the larger areas, the 1-year estimates, like most counties, definitely all the states, you can use 1-year estimates because you have enough people that participated in the survey to get reliable statistics. So here's a little bit about the data collection process. So we use 4 modes that take place over a 3-month period: internet, mail, telephone, and personal visits. Right? So for most housing units, the first phase of data collection includes an invitation for the household to respond via internet, which is mailed to the sample address. If the household doesn't respond via internet, a paper questionnaire is sent to the sample address for the household to complete and return by mail. And from those that don't respond to the questionnaire, a certain portion of those get telephone, and even personal visits so that we can get as much compliance as we can in completing the American Community Survey. So here's some of the topics that the ACS covers. I mentioned some of them broadly, but here you can see better. So now all these topics that you see up on your screen, you're able to get statistics for, right? We don't just ask the question and then we don't provide you the data. No, we provide you data on all the questions that we ask. So you can get, you fill out the questionnaire, you can get the data for your community. So some of the social characteristics, you get ancestry information, citizenship status, disability status, what language is spoken at home, even marital status, school enrollment. Of course, with the demographic, you can get age, gender, race, some economic related characteristics, the industry that the householder works in, health insurance coverage, income, and some housing characteristics as well, such as internet use, how the home is heated, how many rooms are in the house, how many vehicles are, allotted to the household. So all these, with all these topics, there are, we have billions of estimates out there with all the tables that we can produce from all these topics. We can cross-tabulate data and all that stuff. So that's why when you attend part 2, you're able to see, for example, by family household status, right? Married family households, what's their poverty rate compared to the single households? So there's a lot of topics that can be cross-tabulated. So here's the availability of the ACS. So 2017, right now, is the latest data that we have, right? So again, I spoke about the 1-year and 5-year estimates, right? So the 1-year estimates are good for areas of population greater than 65,000. So of course, if you can do that, you're going to have the 5-year estimates. We have special 1-year supplemental estimates that are for populations greater than 20,000, and that's only for some of the tables. But the 5-year estimates, you can see the 5-year estimates cover all geographies, and we'll see the geography hierarchy chart down to block group level. So the 5-year estimates covers those areas less than 20,000. And the last data release was December 6th of 2018. So here's some more information on the 5-year estimates. For this release, we're focusing on our latest 5-year estimates. Period estimates describe the characteristics of an area over a period of time, not a single point in time, as is in the case with the decennial census. In the case of the ACS 1-year estimates, the period is the calendar year. The estimates in the 5-year release describe the population housing characteristics. For example, the 5-year release from January 2013 to December 31st, 2017. So it describes that whole 5-year period. 5-year estimates are not an average of the 1-year ACS estimates. The ACS survey data are pulled together across 60 months for the 5-year data. After the data are pulled together, they are uploaded with the geographic boundaries of the last year of the period. So these are just some important notes also to keep in mind when you compare 5-year estimates or 1-year estimates if it comes down to you when you want to compare for trend analysis and historic information. So just to go over some new tables that are out here. This year we have 77 new detailed tables and 2 new subject tables that cover a variety of topics. Computer and internet use. Data about computer and internet use was first collected in 2013. Therefore, this is the first time that the 5-year tables will be available for this topic. The new detailed tables provide basic estimates of computer and internet use, as well as estimates broken down by characteristics such as household income, age, educational attainment, and labor force. You can see that here. So tables also provide estimates by race and Hispanic origin. Some other changes also, the 2 new subject tables and 55 new detail tables were added for group quarters. Previous tables displayed a limited number of characteristics for the group quarters populations. In addition, only 3 major types of group quarters were displayed: correctional facilities, nursing facilities, and student housings. So this new table right here, and the 2603, allows data users to examine a wide variety of characteristics of the group quarters population beyond just age, sex, including disability status, educational attainment, and earnings. And also to note, you know, some of you may be interested, the 2603 table also provides information about characteristics of juvenile facilities and military quarters, in addition to the other 3 types of group quarters that I mentioned. So some other tables, we have some income and earnings tables, number of earners in the family. So the 2 new tables provide information about the number of earners in the family. And then we have a new health insurance table, and it goes, we had health insurance coverage information before, but now it's just broken down by living arrangement. For example, living in a married couple, families, living in other families, and living in a non-family household. Well, someone was impressed with the tables on internet use. They're like, wow. So here is a little bit of breakdown. So I gave you some ACS data, the latest release, some of the data that we have. So this is more of the geography layout. So again, the 1-year estimates cover only populations of geographies of 65,000 or more. So you can see 1-year estimates covers the entire United States, covers the region, covers 100% of the states. Counties, it only covers 26% of the counties. So that means the other 74% of the counties have less than 65,000 people. And then if you go a little bit over to the right, you can see you would have to use the 5-year estimates, which covers the rest of the counties, or about 3,200 counties in the United States. And the block group level, of course, you're only going to get that from the 5-year estimates, and there's about over 220,000 block groups in the United States. All right, so we looked at all the basics. We're going to go some online resources where you can get more information, because we have everything online. When you want to go into the methodology, technical documentation, you like to know how we sample size and all that's available free, and it's on the internet and you can see it. So I still have, in part two, I'm going to have the geography slide, but just to give you a little, preview of that, when you talk about block group, it ranges in size of population of 600 to 3,000 people. So that's how small it goes down to. And then you have the census tracts. Right, I'm going to go back one slide. You have the census tracts, which is another way. Basically, those are different. We like the term neighborhood as well. So census tracts have a population of about 4,000, but it could range from 1,200 to 8,000. So that's actually a good way to look up statistics, local statistics for an area, because counties are nicely divided into census tracts and they do not overlap. So here's our website, right? So when I do the live demo in part two, I'm going to go a little bit into this. But you can see that the ACS website, census.gov/ACS, right, nice and simple. You can go here and get all the information that you need about the survey, data products available, guidance for data users, the geography in ACS, technical documentation, methodology documents, and so on. So in the news and updates section, right, you can subscribe to this, and every time we have a news release related to the ACS, you can get alerted in your email. But here you can see all upcoming news and updates. This gives you a variety of information specific for this release, all in one place, such as the release schedule and the table changes we just discussed. We also recap what's new and notable for each release. Here is the technical documentation page. In the left navigation bar under technical documentation, there's a list of important documentation that will help you understand the ACS data, including links to code lists or detailed codes for variables such as ancestry and occupation, subject definition, further defining the variables. We got PUMS documentation. PUMS stands for Public Use Microdata Sample. We have summary file documentation. We have user notes as well. We have also information on the guidance for data users on comparing data. So to access our comparison documentation page, you click on the guidance for data users. Then underneath that, select comparing ACS data. A drop-down will provide for the year. Select the year you're interested in comparing, in this case 2017. And in the middle of the table is a link to comparing 5-year data to other non-overlapping 5-year data. Comparisons over time. So I like to point this out because it can get tricky because of the questionnaire changes in different universe definitions. So if you're comparing certain topics, you want to see, did that question change on the ACS? So we'll highlight for you that so that you know that it may not be a great comparison. So just for example, the definitions for urban and rural change every 10 years. So they are different in 2011 to 2015 than they were for 2006 and 2010 data estimates. So it's suggested that you use caution when making past year comparison, and this will tell you that if you follow this information. Finally, you can access tutorial videos, presentation handbooks, and other resources in the library section under educational attainment. Excuse me, under educational materials. I'm thinking about the subject table in the, in the ACS. So we learned about ACS, resources for learning more, and how does this data help everyone? So we have grant writers use this information all the time, right? What's a good grant proposal? You need good data. People use it for development and business planning. Community planners use it, elected officials. You want to answer questions like how many people live here, how old or young are the people, how well educated are the people, how many single parent households are there. You can get that from the ACS. So I have a video. We're gonna wrap up shortly. If there's questions in chat that I didn't get to, I will do my best to get back to you. When you registered, I have your email address. So I just wanted to point that out. So the way I'm gonna share this video is I'm gonna put the link in chat so that you can see that. So just give me a moment. It's a short 3-4 minute video. So I put the link in chat. So if you go, we have a YouTube channel on Census Bureau. It's in there as well if you have trouble accessing the link. But this is a good example of how a company, Target, uses ACS data. So I'm gonna be quiet for the next 3 minutes, so I'll give you a chance to view that video. After you view it, just give me a check mark or something in chat that you've seen it. I would appreciate that. Thank you. But I just want to thank everyone for your participation. So the next thing I'm going to do now is, after you've seen this video, I'm going to share with you a link. So in chat, I put 2 email addresses. I'm going to show you the slides on that. You have census.askdata@census.gov. That email address you can use to contact my branch if you want like an in-person workshop or presentation. You can email that. If you need a webinar for yourself or your organization, you can email me. I put my email address there as well. I had a question there about tables on Hispanic broken down, race broken down by Hispanic origin. I know that we have tables. You're looking at the 2010 census. There's all different types of tables for that. But we do have ACS tables that break nicely things down by ancestry and also Hispanic origin, like Mexican, Puerto Rican. They have a lot of tables. But you're going to have to do part 2 with me, or maybe you can send me an email with more information, and I can get back to you on that. So I'm going to share you the link. Just one thing, this is going to take about a minute. Only the required fields are with a red asterisk. So I'm going to put in the link for the session evaluation in chat. So if you have you know, a minute or two, please do that. And then right after that, I will share with you the slide deck on this as well. Okay, so I gave you some time to complete the evaluation. If you haven't completed, you can complete it when I end the session. But I just wanted to share with you this screen here, census.gov/academy. I already put the link on there. That's where you can get a list of all other upcoming webinars. And there's that email here that I put in chat as well, census.askdata@census.gov. And there's my email address that you can request webinars for yourself as well. So what I'm going to do now is, let me share with you the file for this session. If you don't get if you're not able to download it as a PDF, you should be able to do that. In the coming weeks, it will be available on census.gov/academy, a copy of all the slides and all that information. So let me share that with you quickly here. So you should have it up on your screen now. Now, depending on the device you're launched this WebEx application in, you may or may not be able to download it, but usually I have success from a lot of people. So if you're able to let me know that you successfully downloaded it, I can, it'll help me be able to end the session soon. So you should have it up on your screen to download as a PDF. So just let me know if you download it by a green check mark, which means yes, or in chat, that would be appreciated. Okay, it looks like a lot of you were able to download it. That's awesome. So with that, thank you all for your interest in our data. We love to show our data that we have and how you can get it for free on our website using the various data tools. So again, thank you for your attention, and we look forward to interacting with you in the future on our other sessions. Thank you and have a great day.